week, we talk about our master categories, and our master categories are the tokens we drew the week before that let us know what we're supposed to be talking about. We then pick our topics based on those randomly drawn categories. So, Luke, why don't you kick off our categories?
Okay. I had TV and film, and this week I am going to talk about a movie that I have been waiting for a long time. I went and saw Blade Runner.
Roughly 35 years?
No.
Oh, okay.
Because
Fair.
I didn't see it when I was 0 years old.
Jump into it. Let's go.
Blade Runner 2049. This takes place 30 years after the original Blade Runner, and it also has Harrison Ford, but it also has Ryan Gosling and Jared Leto and a host of other very good actors. It's incredible. It's an incredible experience. The movie is almost 3 hours long. And I've heard a lot of complaints of length. And this is one of the few movies we've seen in a while that has that long of a runtime. We've seen
It's pretty long.
2:15. Dunkirk was about 2:15. We've seen some maybe to the 2:20 mark, but this is like 2:43
I don't think
almost.
Dunkirk was even I don't think it breached 2 hours, did it?
No,
Did it not?
Dunkirk was actually very short, which
Maybe
is one
just
of
because
the
it was
selling
slow, it
points
felt
for
really
Andrew.
long. Anyway, but there have been movies that have been pushing that 2 hour mark. But this one is it's just way over that. And
Wait, is
17-hour
2
film.
hours your limit?
I think an hour 45 is a great movie length. I think most of everything you can capture in an hour and 45 minutes. So this one, being almost 3 hours, was I was a little scared going into it. I was worried that it was going to have a lot of really slow parts and that I was going to either one, fall asleep, or just be really annoyed that things weren't cut that could have been cut. I didn't mind anything. I did not mind the length at all. There were parts where I could see where the movie there were slow parts in the movie, but I didn't mind them because it was supported by amazing visuals and the soundtrack. The score to this movie blew me away. It's by Hans Zimmer. It was originally to be scored by the same person that did Sicario. I'm blanking on his name, but that score was one of my all-time favorites in the last, I don't know, probably 10 years.
It was the same director, right?
I think so.
The guy that directed Sicario is the guy that directed this film, I believe.
Cool. Anyway, the score is supposed to be the same, and it wasn't. It turns out to be Hans Zimmer, which it was fantastic. It was still great. But the movie it's a flash, forward 30 years. Here's what's happened, and a whole plot unfolds. There is a new bad guy, a new corporation that's in charge, and we have a new protagonist, and it's the what am I discovering about the world and myself, and what do I do with that, and what happens. And I don't think we're going to get into spoilers. I don't think we're going to give anything away. But man, I loved it. I want to see it again. I think I probably will try and see it multiple times in the theater before it's gone. I saw it in XD, which even accentuated the soundtrack and the score. It's just amazing. There were things, the visuals I wasn't quite ready for. There was a lot of it was really dark and bland.
It was almost post-apocalyptic.
Well, yeah, I expected that from the original Blade Runner, but it felt way muted in tone, more than I thought it would be. I thought we would see a lot more neon, a lot more flashy, a lot more like cyberpunk-esque theme. And you see some of that.
I have a theory about that when you get done.
Sure. But you don't see that. It was definitely way more muted and more neutral than I was expecting. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. Go see it. I mean, nothing else from me except I loved it. Go see it. Whoever wants to take it next, I'm excited to hear what your thoughts are.
Yeah. Well, okay, so here's my theory on that. So it takes place 30 years later, but I think and where we saw the original Blade Runner was everything was flashy and
Yeah.
it was still dirty, but it was like flashy.
Yeah.
But what you kind of get the gist of is there's only one really one corporation that continued to progress since that time.
Sure.
It seems like there was kind of a collapse in the infrastructure.
Yeah.
And because of that, a lot of stuff has gone to ruin. And
Yeah.
so you're actually seeing antiquated technology, or technology that you'd have now, but 30 years from now would be antiquated.
Right.
And that's what we're seeing. So it's a lot earthier in that regard. It feels
Sure.
a lot more like the Book of Eli or something than I would have anticipated.
Okay.
In the actual like setting and things like that. Obviously, Book of Eli, and then you add flying cars and things.
Right,
But like
obviously, yeah.
all within inside that universe.
Right.
But that's why I think it is that way, because the whole idea was after the rise of these, from the original Blade Runner, after the rise of this technology and this AI becoming kind of unpredictable,
Yeah.
they kind of did away with all progression of technology for a bit until
Right.
this other company came in and started redeveloping. And so I think
Right.
that's probably why we see things the way that they are. That being said, there's probably only, much like Dunkirk, probably only 30%, maybe 35% of this film that actually has dialogue. Most of the film
Sure.
is soundtrack and visual storytelling, and I thought they did an amazing job with it.
Dunkirk is actually a decent reference in a lot of ways, in that the sound is pretty brutal at times, like jarring.
Yeah.
And that you're right. There's actually very little dialogue. There's a lot of space.
Yeah.
And like even in the shots, I mean, there's just a lot of. It's one of those movies that, in some ways, like you're kind of always exploring as you're walking through the visuals, because it's just. Yeah, it's I'll say this. I wasn't in the right headspace when I saw it. So my
Sure.
initial, like, for anybody going to see it, it's 2 hours 44 minutes. I think it could have been 2:24 and probably been just as affecting as it was. That's going to rub some people the wrong way, and I apologize. And that being said, I don't have any negative feelings. When I initially saw the film, it wasn't with the group of people I normally go with. It wasn't in the theater I normally go to. It was a different time of night than I normally see films. I just, I don't know. It was just, and I watched it, and it didn't hit the right way for me. And so I walked away from it feeling like, well, that wasn't very exciting, and I feel like that wasn't very much story for the amount of time we just spent. And the music was great, but you're right. A lot of the visuals weren't nearly as striking or as dramatic as I expected, but then I started thinking about it. And then the next day I was thinking about it. And 2 days after that I was thinking about it. And 3 days after that I was still thinking about it. And it's been this thing that I just can't shake. And then I started reading about it, and how does this relate, and where did this come from, and why is this connected? And now, like, not only are these shots kind of like big and vast, but all of this meaning and story and symbolism, and it is huge, and it is begging to be explored by people. And the thing is, there's no, the directors come out and said that they do not plan on filling in the gaps. I mean, other than the 3 short films that were released
Right.
to kind
Did
of
you
talk
see
about
those?
the 3
Did you watch
decades
those?
leading up. I have, yeah.
Yeah, I watched those too.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah.
so
More
they-
on that
they-
in a second. Go ahead.
Okay, and I'll let you wrap that in then. But other than those 3 things, there is not a plan to go fill in that space. So there's a lot of concepts introduced to us during the film that aren't even really revisited. They're not explained. They're talked about as fact, and then you move on.
Right.
And so once you finish watching the film, at that point the exploration process gets to start. And then you get to go start hearing kind of from these smarter people, or you get to go start rewatching the film and making comparisons. So now that I'm a few days removed, I can't wait to go see it again.
Yeah.
I mean, I would drop what I'm doing right now and go back and watch it again.
Right.
So this is a kind of a film that had a tail for me, or maybe it had legs. It's I first saw it, and I think it went off, and my first response was, well, that's a movie. And then now looking back on it, I wouldn't have changed a thing, and I genuinely cannot wait to go see it again. If you do not see this in theaters, I don't even know if you should see it. Like it's
it's still going to be incredible watching it at home. But you really
your sound bar is not going to do this justice.
Yeah, you need a speaker system. You need surround sound to fully experience it. But aside from that, the visuals. The movie, as muted as I have said, and as neutral as it is from what I thought, the visuals are still striking. The movie, you said it well, Patrick. You said the movie is vast. The sense of scope that they get in this movie is amazing. There's shots where it's like you're seeing something and all of a sudden you see the car fly in and you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize that this statue is so huge, or you don't realize what you're looking at until you see perspective. It was awesome. The shorts, there's 3 shorts that came out, 2 that are about 5.5 minutes and then 1 that's about 16 minutes. 2 live action, 1 animated, done by different directors. The live action are done by the same person, and then the animated one is somebody else. They just give backstory of kind of connecting the dots from what happened to Blade Runner 2049. And they talk about some key moments that are mentioned in the movie of how they came about and some of the people. One of the people you see build only had a very short part in the beginning of the movie. And then one of the shorts is directly about that person. You see a little bit more of that character and kind of how they got to where you see him in the movie. Those are all really well done. I will say the one negative for me from this movie was Jared Leto's character. I kind of hated him. Now,
I'm biting my tongue because I don't want to give away spoilers.
Right, absolutely.
Whatever you're saying, I think I'm on board.
Yeah,
with you.
I kind of hated him. I watched it and I was like, this is just... it's kind of really kind of out there and doesn't really make sense. It's not a bad guy that I can even identify with any motive because his speech was so ethereal and kind of like, touchy-feely almost. It felt like really just kind of whatever. But then you see the shorts and you see a little bit more of that backstory and that personality, and you kind of get it a little bit. It helped me at least connect of like, okay, I can see why he's like this. I still don't necessarily love him as a bad guy, but I think that's okay, especially if they're not going to kind of fill anything else in for you. I haven't seen a bad guy in a while of like, I don't know if I really like him or not, and I kind of like that for a bad guy.
Here's what I would have done.
Okay.
Because I loved his right-hand person.
Yeah.
Okay. She's killer.
Okay.
All right. I would have made him a name with no face. I would have obscured him back a level. She's doing all this bidding for a faceless person. Because I agree. I don't know that he really added anything other than a puzzled look on my face whenever he was saying weird stuff. I think he took
away some of the sinisterness of it.
And I feel like if he was taken back where he is this like, he's the guy that's calling the shots and pulling the strings and doing whatever, but beyond that, you don't know anything about him. I think that would have added to that, that would have built a bit more of the mood about his character that I feel like I should have felt.
Sure. Anyway, Go see it. It's awesome. It's totally worth it for the theater. Go once, and I promise you'll want to go again. So let us know what you thought in the comments below or tweet us or whatever. Let us know.
Andrew half-heartedly pointing at his groin.
I want to throw
that's a whole heart.
I'm going to throw it to Patrick. Patrick, what's your category?
Okay, I have to move my mic. First, one thing. I had intended to talk about The Art of Mondo. I got my shipping notification that it was on the way. It was going to be delivered yesterday.
Great.
I forgot I even ordered this book. It's like a coffee table Mondo book that I'm sure has like beautiful prints and stories behind them and all that stuff. I was pumped. They can't find it. It says it got delivered. Nobody knows where it is. The office doesn't know where it is. They think I don't know. It is lost. it was
It's at
in
your old
transit.
apartment.
It was supposed to be here. Now it is out of transit, but it is also not here. So I don't know where it is. And so I did receive another thing, and now I will talk about that thing, but I just want to share my disappointment that USPS, you done messed up again. Like,
Are you sure it's not possible that they have it sitting in your apartment office under the old apartment number?
No, so it's not, because I checked all that. That's what
okay.
I was, and I went through everyone's packages today, which I'm not sure they should have let me do. And then while I was there, another woman came in who also had something lost on the exact same day that said it was delivered. And so it's like a whole conspiracy. Obviously, a USPS driver is purposely stealing my mail. That's the only logical explanation to this situation.
Well, stop ordering expensive stuff, and then they won't steal it anymore.
That's true. As if he knows what it is. But so Mondo, the art of Mondo,
Oh,
is
this
stolen,
feels heavy. Must
gone
be
forever.
expensive.
I'll talk about it later. But I'm going to move my mic, and we're going to talk about another print. So Andrew, it's the Tom Whalen Samurai Jack. Do you mind describing the print while I unroll it?
Absolutely, I will.
Here we go.
So we had an opportunity back when we went to the Disney show that we got to cover, and it was super cool. We sat down with our friend Sean Rowland. He came to dinner with us, and we went to dinner with Tom Whalen, his wife, Mitch, and Rob and his wife from Mondo, as well as a couple of other people from the Mondo team. And while we were sitting at dinner in Austin, they started talking about Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con. And when they were there, Tom, they were talking about Tom's piece, and that's the piece that Patrick is holding up right now, which is the Samurai Jack piece by Tom Whalen.
Go down a
this
little
was
bit,
a
Patrick.
Comic-Con exclusive.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
Wow.
So the colors are, per the usual,
Yeah,
the colors are
quintessential
stunning.
Tom Whalen. I mean, gosh,
Yeah.
dude kills color. So good.
it's so hang on, hold it up for a second, Patrick. I'm trying to describe it to people who.
These, because this is in the way.
Okay.
So it looks like it's 24 by 36, which is pretty standard for Tom Whalen. His stuff is usually large scale. But it's horizontal print. It's printed on a dark purple paper or a black paper. It's kind of hard to tell. Which is cool. It kind of helps the colors pop a little bit more. But it's primarily orange and red, and then there's some teal involved, and a white and blue. And it's Samurai Jack and some side character, and then the bad guy is up in the corner with all of his minions and these flames that just look insanely cool, kind of going up in the back.
Good. Man, Tom, how do you do it? Tom, he's just good. I don't get it.
He is good. I wish I was him.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing that it always strikes me. Him and Matt Taylor, those two guys, their composition always blows me away because it's always something different than I would expect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Tom, for
if
sure.
I were to try to pull that off, it would just look like a bunch of characters on a piece of paper.
Sure.
But that's not what it is. I mean,
Right.
it is that, but the way that it's composed and the way that everything is put together,
he's
it
killing
just
it.
makes sense.
I know that some people are cringing
Somebody
by
should
my
hire
handling
him.
of it. It's fine. The other thing is that, so that's the first time I've opened it, but any Whalen print I've already opened, I know you've already mentioned it. That guy, his colors are always the best they can be.
Is the paper purple or is it black?
It's black.
Okay.
It is black paper.
I couldn't tell.
And that orange is nuts. And now I will say it actually looks like it's pretty decently represented on camera, like what I can see in front of me. That orange is crazy. He's just I've gotten, honestly, I've been gifted some Whalen prints that I didn't care about the property.
Sure.
And I was like, I guess I'll just look at it before I, give it away. Sorry, guys. Sell it, whatever. And then I'll unroll it and just see the colors. And now I'm in love with it. That dude does color so well. So the funny thing is, Samurai Jack, I'm not sure how. Here's the deal. I have no history with the property. I have no reason to care about Samurai Jack. That print is beautiful, and you will see that print hanging on the back of that wall.
Are you going to watch
beautiful.
Samurai Jack just to see now because you have the poster?
No, because there's no way it'll be as beautiful as that print from Tom Whalen.
Oh.
That's true. That's 100% true. So I tried watching Samurai Jack. Honestly, for two reasons. One, I saw a Jared Mariyama graphic that he did when the new season came out. And two, because I heard Tom Whalen talking about, and he showed us some of the composition, like the sketches that day while we were there. And I thought, oh, he's doing something. Jared is doing something. I should look into this. So I tried watching like 3 or 4 episodes, and I just couldn't get into it. It felt like a Kurosawa film, but not in a good way. Like,
I don't think that is in a good way. Listen, again, film buffs just like, I can't make it through a Kurosawa film. So
it's just it's essentially a silent film. It's a samurai silent film, but it's animated and it's hard. It's hard. I mean, there is a very, very minuscule amount of dialogue, and maybe that picks up as the show goes on. But at least the first 4 episodes, very little dialogue, and it was hard to kind of care.
I bought this print literally based on the excitement of everyone sitting at the table that night.
Yeah. So
and it does not disappoint. I mean that.
No, it looks great.
Beautiful.
Like I would probably hang it up, and I don't even really like the show.
Yeah. So this is the thing. You won't be disappointed if you go with a Wayland print. And here's the other. We did that Mondo video. It's in the channel. We'll throw a link below where we talked about kind of the Mondo buying experience. And some incredible comments came out of that, both on YouTube and then also through a Reddit thread, and just really, really smart stuff. What was I going to say?
That's
Do you
a
ever
great
like
Probably
question.
something
start
super
down
poignant.
a path? Oh, I was going to reiterate a point from the video. That's what it was. With any of this stuff, like if you don't own any of these prints, 2 things. Number one, seeing it in person is always different than seeing it on the website. So that's the first thing I would stress. And the second thing is, the fact that this stuff's as cheap as it is just, for what goes into these, having talked to enough artists, enough print shops, enough galleries to know the investment that goes into printing one of these prints, and the fact that you can frankly buy it for $50 or whatever it is, that's nuts. That is nuts. The quality of the thing you're getting. So I would just encourage, if anybody's like on the fence about spending $50 for a poster, pull the trigger. I mean, you will not be disappointed. So anyway, Andrew, it's you now, right?
Yeah, I'll take us home. So the past couple of weeks I've talked about Funko a couple of times, which is funny because it kind of fell off of the shelf, metaphorically speaking, pun intended. For our conversation, at least for a long time, none of us really purchased anything Funko for a very long time. To some extent, like I don't want to say we swore it off. Maybe Luke did, but we kind of just moved away from it. Patrick shifted over to Loyal Subjects. We see how that worked out.
Let me say this. Their quality is good. They lost me. Like it's too much for me. I don't get it.
That's fine. This isn't. We're not here to talk about Funko. As
I just wanted a disclaimer for my thumbs down. That's it.
We'll just put out a Funko video where we talk about our opinion of Funko.
Nope.
Sure. It'll just be Patrick and Luke. I meant to say Patrick and I. That's fine. It'll be all 3 of us. But they have been putting out some really different and unique stuff lately. So like last week I talked about the vinyl figures, and then this week I'm bringing another thing from Funko that I'm really excited about. They announced this week that they are
We're not sponsored by them, by the way. Just so
we are
everybody
not.
knows.
We are not sponsored by. Although we wouldn't turn down a Funko sponsorship. Put that out there. But they have come out with this new series that I don't even know the name of it yet. I've tried to research the name of it. I can't find it right now.
It's not on the box.
But it's not on the box, and it's essentially I think Nerdist rolled out the reveal of this stuff. But DuckTales, Rescue Rangers, and Darkwing Duck are all coming to and Chippendale Rescue Rangers are all coming to an action figure line, and not like pop vinyls where they have like a big stylized head, or not even like these figures where they're just essentially like glorified statues with just a moving head, an articulating head. No, these are full articulated figures,
like
arms,
real
elbows,
action figures, like
actual,
that we
like
remember.
traditional action figures. And
you're doing it. You're winning, Funko. Good job.
They are incredible. They're not stylized at all. So, and I actually think that's the best part about them. If I'm being honest, it is true to form a Scrooge McDuck, the way that you would expect him. True to form Darkwing Duck. That will be the second that I can purchase him. He will be on my shelf because there's so little Darkwing Duck merchandise out there. It's insanely good. And then you've got Baloo, who, lots of people are a little upset that they didn't do Launchpad, but then there's also some conversation online about how Baloo is a better pilot than Launchpad.
Do you know how many times I've heard y'all complain about this? That
I know, right?
There is no one that is making a quality action figure.
Yep.
You're right.
And this is it.
Yes.
This is it. This is honestly for a
Funko
90s
has
kid.
redeemed themselves to me.
Yeah. For a 90s kid, this has everything that you would want.
Mm-hmm.
It's got Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. It's got with Chip, he's got his his signature fedora and leather aviator jacket. And then with Dale, he's got his floral Hawaiian shirt. And then the little, I can't even remember the little bug's name, but he comes with the bug.
Mm-hmm.
Every piece of me is so happy about these toys. They are incredible. They have not announced yet when they come out. I'm guessing they'll be soon, like soon-ish anyway, maybe by the holidays, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this is a resurgence of something great. With the new Disney DuckTales show, which is fantastic. If you guys haven't been watching it, go watch that show. The animation is amazing. The story is amazing. The character actors, the voice actors are great. But thank you, Funko, for answering the cry of the people with the money. This is, you're doing a really good thing with this.
Coming in November.
Don't screw it up.
Coming in November.
Is that when it comes out?
Yep.
Perfect. That's just in time for my birthday.
There you go.
So if you're listening to this,
great.
if you're watching this, my birthday is November 19th.
You're going to end up with 13 Darkwing Ducks.
I'm fine. I'll put all 13 back there. I don't even care. To make up for the lack of Darkwing Duck stuff that I currently have.
That's
so
fair.
You could tape together a mega Darkwing Duck.
There is so there's Nega Duck, which is like the opposite, like he's the anti Darkwing Duck, and they are doing a Nega Duck figure.
Yeah.
So it's everything is good. I'm just happy. Like you can see it. Like I can't even hide
I can tell.
how
This
excited
is
I am about
not
this.
like this is a different level of happy than we normally see.
And I'm guessing these are going to come in at like a $10 price point.
Yeah, I would be surprised.
Maybe 15.
I would say 12 maybe at the most. I don't think 15.
Yeah.
That's a bold move.
So, right, yeah. So I think maybe the articulation and the attention to detail will bring the price up a bit but like two of these were 15 together. Like
turtle figures are what? Were $8.99. It might hit around 10. Who knows?
We'll see. I'm very hopeful. Comes in like the traditional like 90s action figure blister packs. Oh, everything. You win for the day. So that's going to be it for the master categories. We're going to end it on a high note.
Yeah.
If you like this video, click the like button, click the share button, tell people about it. You can find all the show notes and things we talked about down in the descriptions below, as well as at mof1podcast.com. You can also find a whole bunch of other stuff at mof1podcast.com, an archive with insanely cool people who have talked to us.
Yep.
All sorts of other things that we've episodes from. This is our third year doing this. There's a lot of stuff that you can go back and check out over at mof1podcast.com. You can connect with us on the Slack channel. Go to mof1podcast.com/Slack and join the conversation. We have over 250 creatives, artists, doers, all sorts of cool people in there chatting it up each and every day.
Yeah.
Join that conversation in there from all over the world. So it doesn't matter who you are. There's always someone there to chat with, no matter what time of day it is, whatever time zone you're in. If you want to support the show, go to patreon.com/mof1podcast. Throw a couple dollars in there. For $5, you get the blooper episode and you get some fun additional stuff. And there is some stuff even from this episode.
A few things, yeah.
That are embarrassing, but they're fun.
Stupid
and
thing. Andrew, you said two really dumb things.
Yeah, which is great for me.
You did that really stupid thing, Patrick, that everybody saw on video. That was good.
I can't believe it came all the way off.
So you, do yourself a favor, do us a favor, throw a few bucks in there, and you get to be a part of that. A special channel in our Slack community, as well as some heads up on things that are coming up. We're going to be at a couple of different conferences over the next few weeks.
When you're
you
hearing
don't want to
this,
miss out on those.
When you're hearing this, in 2 days we're in California.
That's true. We'll be in California this week.
Up.
If you're,
we're doing a meetup at Disneyland.
Grand Californian. We're going to do a meetup on Sunday
night.
October
22nd.
October 22nd. That's what it is.
Yep.
6 o'clock at the Grand Californian. Come hang out.
Come hang out.
Jared Mariyama's going to be there.
Yep.
100% for sure. And then a bunch of other people. But we know Jared's going to be there.
I'm thinking Lenny Terenzi's going to be there. Jared's going to be there.
Gabe's
M
gonna
Square
be
will be
there.
there. Jedi Robbie's will be there. There will be people there.
There's going to be people to hang out with. So come hang out with us.
Gabe
It's going to be
Barletta
great.
will be there. It's going to be great.
Dumbriel.
And that's when I'll hand him his book for winning. So all of these, there's things. And then next week, we're going to be in Austin for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Nope, for two events, not for 2 weeks. We're going to be at MondoCon, which you can still get tickets for, and we're going to be at Pop-Up Crop, where we'll be podcasting
They just
live.
released the lineup for MondoCon, right? Of the events and the panels and stuff. Oh my gosh, there's 2 that I'm like, I need to be at them.
Super excited about it?
Dude, I'm super excited about it.
I'm geeking out over MondoCon this year.
It's gonna be
and we're gonna
so
hang
fun.
out with all sorts of cool people. We have at least one interview scheduled at MondoCon.
Yeah.
With an artist that you're gonna want to hear.
You
from.
know who it is.
And
You'll
we
know who
have
it is.
we have actually a MondoCon person who's going to be on the show this upcoming Thursday upcoming Thursday. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on that episode. But I think. Man, we've jammed everything in here. Search M of One Podcast on all the different socials. Connect with us. We want to connect with you. But we're going to get out of this episode for now. I'm Andrew.
I'm Patrick.
I'm Luke.
Peace out.
Roofie.
Oh.